Hey guys, so I'm finally here to do my review for Traitor to the Throne by Alwyn Hamilton. And this is a book that I've recently read and I'm so glad I did because it's been the longest time that this book was sitting on my TBR and I've finally done it. Finally picked up the sequel and I am excited. So this review is going to contain some spoilers for what happens in this book, but also spoilers for Abbeyleec. So I'm going to assume that you have read the book if you're watching this review, but just to let you know, they're going to be spoilers, but let's get into it. This book was very long and that made it very daunting, and I think that is one of the reasons why it took me a year and a half to actually get to the second book. Half a year technically to get to the sequel, because the third book did come out like early on this year and I didn't read it because I hadn't read book 2 and it was just all piling up, and that's generally what happens. Books start to pile up and then it becomes hard to read because I've gotten so many books on my TBR and so many things that I want to try and read by the end of the year that I'm kind of losing my mind because there's too much to do, and now I don't know what to pick out of the things that I really need to read. So like it's really too hard. I'm trying. So glad I finally did read the book though, because the story is so good. Like, I loved Rebel of Sand when I read it like 2 years ago, and now I finally can know what everyone's talking about and be in the fandom, even though the fandom's probably like soured a bit because the, you know, the series is over, but still I'm excited. So I really loved how big the rebellion got in this book and how we had like a 6-month time skip and we had like a little run through of everything that they'd done and all the cities they got out of the Sultan's control and how they got so many more people joining them and how they made weapons and how they practiced with their magic and just how they got epic and so much better, and they actually became more of a serious movement and not just some fantasy that they're building in their heads that they're actually going to win. Like, they could win. And I love that the Sultan was starting to take real notice of it, and just the fact that they were able to be heard, and that was really good, and the way that it was written in this book was done really well. There is a trope that I really don't like in this book, and it's the reason I made that top 5 Tuesday video about top 5 hated tropes, because I really hate the court prisoner trope, and I was not expecting it to be a thing in this book, but it did take like 100 and something pages to actually get to this point in the book, but I really annoyed. Again, the main character is captured by the enemy and then they're stuck in the palace and they're living in luxury and they gotta pretend like they don't know shit and they gotta be a spy and they always get found out. They always get found out, and really, I'm like, the Sultan knew the whole time who Amani was, and she's like, oh, I'm so cool, I know what's up. No, you don't. I just hate this trope, and it was really annoying that it was in this book. Even though this is my favorite book out of the 3, it's still really annoying. So I'd say that it happened about 140 pages in, but Amani got captured and she had to try and hide the rebellion, but she cannot lie. Like, the dude could have just asked her any question and she would have had to tell the truth, so she's trying to be all like half truths, and it's just like, mate, you cannot lie. It's really unrealistic that they never found out or you never slipped up. Like, I honestly don't know how she wasn't discovered, and I say this now because by the end of the book you do realise that the whole time everyone knew who she was and what was what, and she wasn't really doing a great job of hiding it, but it was seemed like at the time it was just like, honestly, how does no one realise what you're doing? And this plotline went way too long because this book's 570 pages. It's just way too long for a sequel. Like, it's just way too long for any type of book. Like, there are so many long books, but honestly books should just be like 400 pages and bam, done, read, over. She got captured about page 140 and it took until like page like 450 or something for her to be rescued, and it was just way too long. It was so sad when Amani had the iron put under her skin and that bit of bronze so that the Sultan could control her. Again, how did she not slip up by just telling the Sultan if he just asked her to tell him in that way? But it was so sad because she couldn't connect to her magic for like months, and it was like, just like, what? Like, I felt so bad too, and then she didn't know where the medal was, and like when she got out I was really worried because she didn't get the medal out because Taman's a little bitch and he wouldn't help her. But then they went and found a way to get it out of her, and I was like, thank God. Another trope that is not my thing is the OTP being ripped apart. It irks me because they just get together, that they get ripped apart and they're just there wallowing in self-pity because they can't be together, and I just want them to be together and I can't be together. And it happened twice. It happened twice. Like, how is that even possible? Because the first time Amani got shot and Jin's just like, nah bitch, I'm out because you're gonna die, I don't want to watch that. He leaves forever, comes back, and then Amani gets captured, and then the whole time he's like, I would have ripped apart the world to like get you back, girl. And I'm like, oh my God. It's actually so sad because I loved that quote in Akamath, and now it's in so many books, and I'm just like, it's not the same. Like, everyone's like, I would have ripped apart something. I would have ripped apart some amount of space to get you, and it's so annoying. I just hated how it was twice. How's it twice? The fact that Tamad was alive and with the Sultan and working for him, and he has like lost his leg and he's got a new wooden leg or a metal leg, and it was all like, what? Hates Amani now because of what she did and how she left him, but I didn't realize that like Tamad was in love with her. Like, when he offered to marry her in the first book, I thought it was just him being like a friend. I didn't think it was like a desperately in love with my best friend thing. So another trope that we didn't need. And like, I can't, because like some bitch cut Amani's hair and it was so long and they cut it like up to her neck, and I was like so sad. Like, it upsets me more than someone dying. I don't know why I have an issue, but it's like, I like hair. Actually, probably from my own experience when the hairdresser, because you would have seen in probably like 2 years ago in videos when she cut my hair so short that I looked so bad, like so bad, and I could not handle it. Like, good, I had red hair, but it was so bad. And now it's getting a bit of length to it, like it's actually out of the shot now. I just can't. It's like one of my pet peeves is like when people get their hair cut and it's just like something I really loved about the story was how all the old stories were becoming reality and more real. And like how Amani meeting her father gave her more insight into the events that happened and things that he was a part of and things that she would have heard stories about, and finding out that a lot of the like big princesses are actually her siblings because they have the same father and they're all Dingens, and like finding out all this information and being like, this stuff is actually real and it's not just a bedtime story, was really interesting. We got some new characters in this book because there's so many characters already. Like, a few died in the last book and a few died in this book, but not enough. They just needed to cull it a little bit more. Like, I'm sad, but they needed to cull it a little bit more. My favorites are Sam and Rahim. I feel like they've really added to the story and they were really funny. And like, Sam is the type of character that I actually really love, and I wish Jin was more like Sam, because Sam's the ultimate like, yes bitch, I love him, because they're so funny, but then they can be so serious with you and it's beautiful. But Jin is just sort of serious all the time unless he's drunk, and it's just like, I actually really like Shiria in this book, and that was actually so unexpected to me because she was kind of like a real bitch in the first book, but I loved all the things that she did and how she became the Sultima, if that's how you say it, because there's a Sultan and the Sultane and it's all over the place. It's a bit hard to understand. But she had the baby and it was a Dinjan baby, and then she died and she actually spoke about the rebellion and like the way her death was and how much she was going to protect her baby. It was so good. Like, her whole entire arc in the series was amazing. The relationship that developed between the Sultan and Amani was so weird because he sort of became like a father figure, but he was totally playing her because he was trying to act like really cool because he thought she might say something. But like, it was so weird, like the conversations they would have and the way that she really relied on him and actually wanted him to be proud of her. It was just weird, and I really liked that. But the end of the book just went to like complete shit. Complete shit. Honey got played by the Sultan and stupid Leia. I believed her. I believed Leia. I thought she could have been trusted, but no, she's a little bitch in the Sultan's pocket. I mean, that is her dad, but still, she was so sweet. She's some weird, creepy inventor chick, and I don't like it. And like, literally everyone was captured, and it was just like, so many people died, and then Ahmed died, and I was just like, what? Like, I was so sad because it was all happening. Everyone was getting killed. Ahmed was gonna get, like, he was sitting there and they're chopping his head off, but like, it was so sad because you think that Ahmed dies and then it was actually Inan pretending to be Ahmed, and then you think, oh my god, because that means her husband Navid would have died, because if you marry a Dinjan, if they die, you die, which is just so sad. But like, so they both died, and it was just like, what? I'm so sad. And there's only like a handful of the rebellion left. There isn't much hope, and all this happened in like 20 pages, and it's just Amani, Jin, and Hala and Sam now, and I don't even know what's gonna happen next. Like, overall, I really enjoyed this story, but there was so many tropes that I really dislike in this book, and I was just like, I mean, I've seen worse court prisoner books that are really annoying. Like, as I said, this book was my favorite, but there were so many things that irked me, and I was just like, and it was too long to suffer with all this tropingness. But I hope you liked my review of Traitor to the Throne, because I had fun filming this, because I never thought I'd end up filming a review for this because it took me so long to read the damn book. Anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!